Hello, I'm Claudine Wong. I'm an anchor at KTVU Channel 2, and I'm your moderator today. Welcome to this roundtable of candidates running for U.S. Representative District 10. District 10 includes a portion of Alameda and Contra Costa counties, the cities of Clayton, Concord, Lafayette, Orinda, Pleasant Hill, San Ramon, Oakley, and Walnut Creek, the towns of Danville and Moraga, and portions of the cities of Antioch, Brentwood, Dublin, and Martinez. Today's roundtable is sponsored by the Contra Costa County Elections Division, the League of Women Voters of Diablo Valley and West Contra Costa County, and Contra Costa Television, with support from the cities of Concord and Walnut Creek. We are recording this roundtable live in the Martinez studios of Contra Costa Television. The candidates participating are Mohammed El-Sherbini and Joe Sweeney. Nolan Chen, Catherine Piccinini, and Mark DeSaulnier could not attend today. Now, prior to the start of this program, the candidates drew lots to determine speaking order. We're going to start with a 1-minute opening statement. And Mr. El-Sherbini, we start with you.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Mohammed El-Sherbini. I'm a proud candidate for U.S. Congress, District 10. I bring a lot of wealth, service, experience to my community. I'm also passionate about serving my people. And at the same time, I'm here to ask you for unity and build a better future for all of us. Let me be your voice. Let me be your advocate. Let me be your representative in Washington. And thank you for your support and vote for El-Sherbini. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, and thank everyone for hosting us here today and for coming at the last minute with our original moderator was not able to attend. I'm Joe Sweeney. I'm 42 years old. I live in Dublin, California, and I've actually lived in Danville, San Ramon, and Dublin. I have an 11-year-old daughter who goes to school here in Contra Costa County, and I am concerned about the direction that our country is heading. The entire political system is not right, and the policies that are being passed in Washington, D.C. are putting us on a wrong path. I'm here to run against the entire establishment and the two-party system as an independent candidate and to offer an alternative in this year's election. And if you want any more information, my website is independentjoe.com. I have a lot of information up there. Thank you.
Okay, let's dive right into the many topics that we can cover when we're talking about this position and really what needs to be discussed. I'd like to start off with priorities. And Mr. Sweeney, I'll start with you in terms of what you believe are the top priorities should you be elected.
Sure. So I've talked to thousands of people in the district already, and my priorities are the priorities of the people in the district. And there are three things that seem to commonly be at the top of the list. One is the border and illegal immigration. 2 is the economy and inflation. And then 3 are overseas conflicts and trying to reduce them. So with regards to securing the border, I do have a zero illegal immigration policy, but I'm also a proponent of reforming legal immigration. Those are the people who we need to have coming here. I have lots more information on the site about specific policies that I back to accomplish those. Regarding the economy and inflation, we have massive national debt, $34 trillion. This year alone, the interest payments on that debt will be over $1 trillion, which is $3,000 for every single American. If you have a family of 4, that's an average of $12,000. We need to get our spending under control and not be running $2 to $3 million budget deficits. And the third, overseas conflicts. Our foreign policy needs to be looked at more carefully. We have almost 800 military bases worldwide, and I don't believe that they are making America more secure. They are destabilizing the world, and we need to find ways to move toward peace and resolve situations so that we don't have to worry about increasing conflict over the next few years.
All right, Mr. El-Sherbini, your top 3 priorities should you be elected?
Of course, number one, because of the inflation and the challenges of AI technology, we're losing a lot of jobs. So I'm here to create jobs, support all small businesses and all other businesses also at the same time. It's really sad to see in the Silicon Valley and the Bay Area, all of this intellectual people are losing jobs, and some of them are working part-time, in Uber and other places to make a living. So my priority really And as an owner for a small business that's been successful in the Bay Area for 37 years, I know what it takes to run a small business through challenges. And of course, corporation, they have their own challenges. So we have to support them at the same time. So I'm here to support all businesses, create more jobs. That's number one. Number two, higher education, quality education. And at the same time, bring safety at school. And I'm very proud to say, as a father for twin daughters, one of my daughter was in a program with the local officials to diffuse tension and bring any red flag that may rise of drama, violence at school, high school in Danville. And so that's what we need. We need to implement that, increase that in order to diffuse and bring safety at schools. So having said that for number two as an education, number three is affordable housing. We need to build affordable housing because the inflations and the cost of living rising in the Bay Area, it's affecting everybody. I'm seeing a lot of friends and constituents in my district are moving out to other states. So we're losing that money, and we need to support building a lot of affordable housing. And at the same time, that's number three, right? So the list is really long as far as social security and other issues, but I don't know if my time is up.
Well,
or
I think
not.
we'll drill down on some of those specific issues as time permits. But I before we do that, I actually want to get your guys' take on also the climate. There are people who feel there's an ineffectiveness in government because of contrasting opinions and an inability to find kind of a middle compromise. Can you talk about how you feel about the outlook of Congress to find some common ground and to make policies and while advocating for what you believe in and also finding compromise?
Well, based on, I immigrated from Egypt at young age, at 22 years old. I am involved in politics. I love history. I'm surrounded with a lot of politicians and high officials. I've been studying all of that. I have been Democrats. When I came to America, they said, this is a party for the people. And I was a Democrat, and then I changed to a Republican as a businessman for business and growth and economic growth. And then I came in the end, I ran for Danville race as a mayor 2020, and I was endorsed by the Republican Party. And that was great. And in the end, I came to the point that we need unity. I don't find this. All I see on the news, watching everybody, is there is no unity. We get divided between each other if you're a Republican or Democrats, and that's not good, and it's not healthy for us, for our country, for the environment that we live in. So we need to bring unity. Therefore, I'm running as an independent, meaning is that I want to be the people's voice. Whatever my constituents, my people, all over America and here in my district needs, that's where I'm going to address their issues. Now, as you can see in Capitol Hill, it's always a drama and fight between Republican and Democrats, and this is not healthy for us. We need to be the people's voice. That's what I see the lack in Washington, D.C. They are not the people's voice. And it's time that we change that, and we need to unite together and serve for the people.
Mr. Sweeney, your thoughts on finding a way to advocate for policies you want and finding compromise?
Yeah, I think Mohammed and I are on the same page about this. It's absolutely clear that because we have a two-party system, it's polarizing the country. Their media machines work in conjunction with the parties, I believe, to deliberately make this happen. And Americans are not as polarized and divided as we think. Like I said, I've talked to thousands of people in this district. They are tired of politics as usual. They want a massive change to happen, and that change needs to be in the political system itself. That's why I'm specifically running to break the two-party system, to bring people back to the middle. We need to have candidates worried about not being primaried on the left or primaried on the right, but to be generally electioned down the middle when they're running for office. And that's what I'm trying to do here. I believe that this district is diverse enough and smart enough to understand that that's the real solution to the problem here. And that's what I'm trying to do in this race.
Are you optimistic you can impact the change if elected?
Yes, I've gotten that question a lot. People are like, well, how are you going to, be the only independent in the House? And it's actually been 33 years since an independent was newly elected to the US House. But the truth is that I will have both parties trying to work with me, because in order to get something through, they'll be able to say, this isn't just all a left issue or all a right issue. We have the left and independent Joe on board, so it gives them more weight. So I will use my position as an independent in Congress to affect change.
I should ask you if you're optimistic about being able to impact change as well.
I
if
think I
elected.
can. I'm a leader, and I have been serving around the world and being involved. And as I said earlier in my early statement, I'm passionate about serving people, and I love this country. This is my country, and we are the most powerful nation in the world. We are a rich nation. We have to take care of our people first. And I think I can bring a change, because look at us. We all as Americans are intellectuals and very smart. And I think once we bring diplomacy and discussion in a very nice way without any heat, I think we can bring understanding. Whether you disagree with me, at least I bring my point across, and that's where I see success in making a change.
Okay, let's talk about some of the issues that you guys have said are high priorities. Border was top on your list. So can you give me your thoughts on what you think is being done well and what needs to be done?
Yes, well, the real numbers are that between 2021 and today, there were 8 million illegal immigrants that crossed the border, and this number is growing exponentially. So in this year, 2024, it's expected to be 4 million alone. Just to give scale as to how much of an increase that is, in the years between 2021 and 2020, we had an average of about 450,000. So this year, we're literally going to see about a 10-time increase in the number of crossings. This has the potential to cause massive economic problems to cities. We're already seeing it. Their budget, their resources are having to be reallocated from critical education and health and law enforcement resources to housing and food for all of these immigrants. So we need to put policies back in place, like the Remain in Mexico policy. We need to increase the number of judges that we have to adjudicate these cases quickly. We need to increase resources. We need to move immigration courts from the executive branch into an Article I institution, just like US tax courts are, because right now all of this is being politicized. It's not objective. And we need to do something about this before it reaches a point where the financial impact on Americans is not going to be a burden that we can continue to bear.
Your thoughts on the border?
Well, definitely we have to protect our border, first of all, from terrorists. Number two, getting illegal immigration here, and we don't know who they are. We have to really screen those people if we are going to give them a status, and it should not be easy. And at the same time, that's really risky because, as I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of lost jobs here. So we need to take care of our own people first, and those illegal immigrants, they will come and basically affect our job market. So I will definitely support the government to check everyone and not make it easy for people just to come in for no reason.
I'll make a couple more quick points
Yep.
if possible. And this also just shows where our priorities are, because we're allowing all of these people to come across, and then we're even discussing possibly giving them permanent residency. While at the same time, our legal immigration process is badly broken. We have people who we bring here on H-1B visas, and for example, from the country of India, because we have country caps on a country-by-country basis, these people are coming in and they might wait 20 or 30 or 50 years. The backlog is actually 110 years now before they could become a permanent resident. So that's kind of a slap in the face to everyone who's trying to do this legally while just allowing people to walk across the border. And then to a couple of other of Mohammed's priorities, which were education and housing. Bringing all these people in here is going to have a massive negative impact on our education system because we don't have the resources and programs in place to properly assimilate these people and also to build affordable housing. So these problems are going to get worse and inflation will continue at this rate.
And of course, the crime could raise also because we don't know who they are.
This is a topic obviously we could talk on for quite a while. I do want to switch to a priority that you talked about with the economy, simply because for time purposes we need to make sure we cover some of these other issues. But how do you feel the economy is doing now, and what changes do you think you would like to see, and what would you fight for?
Well, as you can see, it's all the talks about recession and the talks about Biden did not create jobs, even though other articles or reports saying that he created like 4 million jobs, 5 million jobs in 2020. Trump also, he's saying or claiming that he created more jobs, but the facts he didn't, because we got into COVID situations. So basically what needs to be done, the bottom line, without talking too much, we need to support small business first, and supporting them through tax cut and loans and SBA loans, and if they meet the criteria, right? And support them to create more jobs. Number two, we need also to support corporations, because corporations hire employees, right? So we need to support them and work with them, and at the same time have them pay taxes to cover the cost for that. So talking about economy and economic growth.
Mr. Sweeney, your thoughts on how we're doing in terms of the economy and where you think we should head from here?
Yes, well, so if you look at the jobs reports, they look good. Like just this morning, I think it said 350,000 jobs in the last quarter, which is about double what the projection was. But if you look at the kind of jobs that are being created, it's government jobs and low-paying jobs. Our education system is failing to create people who are able to be funneled into high-paying jobs. And in addition to that, we also have to consider inflation. And if all we do is continue creating these low-paying jobs, people are never going to get ahead. So even though inflation has come down, it's still increasing at a rate of like 3.4%. The rate the increase in wages is not keeping up with that still. So we have massive foundational problems. It's not just creating jobs through government and low blue-collar class jobs. We need to fundamentally restructure, redoing some of the regulations, like Mohammed was talking about, helping businesses grow, spurring growth.
In terms of, if we talk about the federal government's role, and also when you talk about spurring growth and housing, and some of the issues that we're directly dealing with here in the Bay Area as well, your thoughts on the place that we need to head in terms to support the efforts to deal with housing insecurity, affordable housing, homelessness that we are seeing?
Well, I'm lucky that I live in the Bay Area, and since I came from Egypt, I live in the Bay Area, even though, of course, America is a great nation and has a lot of wonderful places. But let us see the facts that the Bay Area is the capital technology of the world, the Silicon Valley, right? So when you see a lot of job cuts lately from Google and other companies, and I know a lot of friends that are in the IT business and other businesses, they lost their jobs, and some of them are laid off for like almost a year, and there is a sacrifice for them to make money or to find a job. So the Bay Area got affected a lot, and you can tell where the economy is going when you look at the Bay Area, the Silicon Valley overall, because the Silicon Valley is basically provide jobs.
So what does
across
Congress step in on that?
The Congress would come in like me when I'm in the Congress, and other fellow colleagues there will come up with a plan by supporting businesses, as I said, in order to create more jobs and help the economy, because this is the only way. But the middle class need to be supported, because they are the bone, right, for the economy in any nation in the world. So by supporting the middle class and creating more jobs, like Mr. Sweeney said, that some of the people are already need jobs, not low-paying jobs. So that's where the Congress have to step in to talk, whether both parties or independent, to find the way to help and listen to the American people. Because I could have a view, another party person have a view, the other party also have another view, but we have to listen to the people and see what the issues are and what are the obstacles and how we can solve it all by talking with each other.
Housing. and how we handle some of the issues that we're facing here.
Yeah, sure. So all of this is obviously related to the economy. The government is the most inefficient and worst allocator of capital that there is. We're running budget deficits of over $2 trillion right now. We need to leave this money in the hands of the people. That's how we build the economy and reduce homelessness. Where the government can directly step in to help rebuild our cities, which are rotting right now, is by giving block grants to appropriately incentivize cleaning up the crime and the drug problems. Because look at downtown San Francisco right now. All of the businesses are shutting down because people don't want to go there anymore. The government needs to step in and clean this up. This is an example where when a government goes too far left and is too soft on these issues, and we have an open border which is pouring fentanyl into our country, it's not sustainable. And so this is where I depart from the Democratic Party. And we need to, properly incentivize state governments and local governments to go after these problems.
Okay. Probably have time for one more topic. I want to go internationally. That's something that you also mentioned, but in terms of, and a lot of the discussion in Congress is over funding and how we handle conflicts that are in the Middle East, Russia, Ukraine. Weigh in on that.
Sure. So this is, again, a very complicated issue. And we do not make decisions that are in our best long-term interest way too often. We look at all of this started, the entire destabilization of the Middle East started back after 9/11. We decided to go into Iraq under false pretenses. We spent a bunch of money. We killed hundreds of thousands of Iraqis. We caused tens of millions of refugees to leave that area and go into Europe, and then we take a bunch here. Our foreign policy needs to be reconsidered. Even when we look at Ukraine, it's clear that there were opportunities early on for a peace agreement to be reached, for issues to be resolved, but the US government and the UK and NATO did not help foster those peace agreements to stop the invasion. We could have, and now it seems like that's moving back onto the table. But I think that's only because now we have another conflict in the Middle East that's going on. Whenever I look at big problems like this, I always try to figure out what do we need to do now so that 10 years from now, we don't have to worry about these problems anymore. And the solution is not to continue going the direction we're going. This is a very complicated issue, but what's happening over there, we need to begin normalizing relations and pulling some of our 800 military bases back.
Mr. El-Sherbini.
Well, coming from Egypt and knowing the Middle East very well and being involved with a lot of friends in politics and high offices there, I can tell you the problem in the Middle East and the bloodshed because of the hypocrisy of our foreign affairs and our diplomacy. Our diplomacy failed. We could have stopped this bloodshed if we would have pursued President Carter, President Sadat, and Menachem Begin, and bring peace and bring two-state solutions out there.
So what would you do now differently? What would you, if Congress, be pushing for?
I will definitely push for ceasefire, immediate, unconditional. Second, push for two-state solutions and save lives. That's very, very important. Okay, it's very easy. It's not hard. My friend Joe said that it's difficult, but it's not difficult at all. It is very easy. All you have to do, you have to have the goodwill. But if now Biden is keeping his mouth shut and not calling for ceasefire, this is hypocrisy. You cannot just justify killing that person and not kill that person. Basically, our diplomacy failed. Everything is available, like the UN failed to stop the war against the Ukrainian. We should have stopped that. I mean, letting Putin killing 1,000 innocent of people in Ukraine, that's failure of our diplomacy. The UN is a joke. This is hypocrisy, really. We need to stop this. We need to stop this. We need to bring world order. But at the same time, I disagree with my Mr. Joe here. We need to keep our troops there because in case of our American interest in danger, we need to have easy mobility for our troops to interfere and get in. Like, for example, we're having the problem on the Red Sea with the Houthi. we have our troops there, so they are easy to stop this massacre there.
Okay. Important discussion, complicated discussion. I want to thank you guys for being part of this forum and this roundtable, and thank our candidates for being here to answer some of these very important questions that we get from our constituents. Each candidate is now going to have 2 minutes to make a closing statement, and Mr. Sweeney, we'll start with you.
Thank you. Our country is declining at the fastest rate I've seen during my lifetime. I'm not running for this office because I want to join some kind of elite group of Republicans or Democrats in Washington, D.C. I'm not going to spend my time on the phone banks at the RNC or the DNC trying to get money from donors. I'm not going to spend my time with lobbyists and special interest groups to try to get money from my party's political machine. I am running to do what's best for the people of this district, to turn our country around. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I am the alternative. And when you get your voter information guide and your ballot, you have a different choice this year. I will support good policy regardless of what party it is coming from in Congress, but I will oppose bad policy. I will support good spending allocations, but I will fight against bad spending allocations. I've talked to thousands of people in the district, and they all have a very visceral reaction to Joe Biden and Donald Trump. But I'm not running for president, I'm running for Congress, and as a member of Congress, I will be a strong check and balance against any administration, whether that's Donald Trump, Joe Biden, RFK Jr., Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, even a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce ticket. The truth is, we need massive change in this country. We cannot keep playing the games as usual. We need to come back to the middle. That is why I'm running. And I have more information up on my website, independentjoe.com, than all of the other candidates combined, because I want you to be able to see who I am, how I think, and what I stand for. Thank you to the entire crew for hosting us. Thank you to our gracious moderator. Thank you to the organizations who put on today. I will see you around the district.
All right. Mr. El-Sherbini, your 2-minute closing statement.
Well, I'm not going to take 2 minutes and save you some times. I thank you all for hosting this talk today, and please vote for me. I'm your guy. I'm your representative. I'm going to be your voice. I'm the people voice. I know a lot about world diplomacy, that I can diffuse any tension and save our men and women abroad. And also I know about balanced budget, so that's very important that I be in the Congress, be your voice, and bring a balance to the budget. Our country in debts for like $34 trillion, that's what I heard. And we owe a lot to China, and we need to bring some of the jobs back here in America. At the same time, as I said, I spend most of my time seeing the battles between both parties. That's why I'm running independent, to be the people voice and bring unity. And at the same time, my message, it's all on my webpage and El-Sherbini for uscongress.com. And it's also on my Facebook. And basically, my main goal is, number one is unity. And number two is economic growth, creating more jobs, education, safety at school, support law enforcement, which we didn't discuss that. It's very important, with technology to them, and bring justice to all. We have to keep our American values up high. We have to keep our positivity and work together and work in peace and love and address any issues without following any dramas by any president or any elected official. So thank you very much for hosting us, and this debate is beautiful, and thanks to you, and thanks for the audience, and vote for El-Sherbini. I'll be your voice in Congress. God bless America. Thank you.
All right, Mr. El-Sherbini, thank you. Mr. Sweeney, thank you. This does conclude today's candidate roundtable for U.S. Representative District 10. Once again, your candidates are Mohammed El-Sherbini, Joe Sweeney, Nolan Chen, Catherine Piccinini, and Mark DeSaulnier. For more information about our candidates, go to vote411.org, and to view this broadcast online or to get more voting information, go to contracostavote.gov/elections. I'm Claudine Wong from KTVU. It's been a pleasure to be your moderator today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to vote on March 5th.